Township quarterly or yearly or whatever you guys work out to do that work. But these lines need to be flushed. You can't just kind of turn a blind eye to it.
I don't want to ask a question that's going to be covered at the end when you give us your cost column. But obviously we're going to be looking at everything, any kind of system that you have has to have some kind of maintenance.
Yes.
And we're going to want a general idea of numbers.
All right.
So is that going to be on your...
Yes. The numbers are at the end.
For the
Yes.
gravity system, there's going to be the cost of water filtration, fixing that, and lining manholes and all that. So everything's going to have costs, and we have to weigh them all out.
That's correct. That's correct.
So just to clarify, so if you did a gravity system, those lines are still going to need maintenance. They're not maintenance free.
That's correct. Even a gravity system is going to require
So
maintenance.
it's not just the grinder pumps that are going to need flushing and maintenance.
But it's
But
different.
they have to need maintenance.
They will need maintenance too, yes. I'm not suggesting that any option that is proposed would be maintenance-free. All the options would require some form of maintenance. What I'm pointing out is the maintenance that is required under this system is different from what the township has been doing, because you have a gravity system. This is a different kind of animal. Still needs maintenance, it's just different. The individual grinders are owned by the property owners, and the common force main ultimately goes to the same place. This option does not address the issue of the Delphi station in terms of if it needs any upgrades. We don't know. And it does put the flow at the Delphi station instead of around it.
Does it address any of the issues on the surrounding property?
It does not address any of the issues on the yeah. It doesn't. All right.
You already did that.
Yeah, this is the force main and the idea of stocking grinder pumps in the event of residential failure. All right. Here's some of the issues with these grinder stations. The increase in sewer strength is a potential. One of the things that we talked about at the very beginning in terms of the gravity line, when you flush the toilet or open the spigot, the water goes down the drain. It essentially continues movement until it gets to your treatment facility. That movement maintains some level of oxygen in the water. One of the things that happens with biological matter in water is the oxygen is depleted, and then the sewage changes from just raw sewage to septic. Septic generates hydrogen sulfide, which is not good, as we've discussed previously. It also is a heavier treatment burden on your plant. With a gravity system, the water runs continuously. Typically, from the time that you flush the toilet or open the spigot, that water is at your treatment facility within a few hours. In that time, the sewage is not degraded. This system takes, or can take, several days before the sewage gets to your treatment facility. These pumps only pump what water goes into them as needed, which means that you have to fill the low pressure line and you have to fill the basin. It will eject approximately 40 to 50 gallons at a time. Well, there's several thousand gallons of force main between each one of these connections and your gravity line, and then it has to flow through the gravity line before it gets to your treatment facility. So the sewage can be quite strong. So that's an issue. Unless the designer is extremely careful in terms of making sure that the line sizes and so on, the flow from each individual home is going to get to your treatment facility within a few hours, it's very difficult. The strength of sewage goes up, and it creates the hydrogen sulfide gas, which is a problem. With that hydrogen sulfide gas, understand that this system is going to be dumping it into the end of your collection system. So now you've gotten septage coming into the end of your septic system that's going to flow down to the Delphi station and create havoc within the collection system and at your station before it ever gets to your treatment facility. So that's a real issue with this. The further thing is that because there is no infiltration, the low pressure lines are glue fitted together. They're not put together like piping. It's glue, so it's absolutely tight. So you don't have infiltration problems. Without infiltration, the strength of sewage cannot be diluted. And so a gravity system always has some level of dilution. You want the system as tight as possible because you don't want to pay to treat that groundwater. That costs you money too. But a little bit of dilution is a good thing, and it helps keep your system healthy. These systems don't allow any infiltration, and you get much stronger sewage coming down to the treatment plant.
So you're talking about the potential impact on the Delphi plant, but I guess my question has to do with at what point is there a serious impact? So there's 47 homes. Let's say 20 of them had minor pumps and 27 did something else. Is that less of a problem than all 47 of them had? I mean, is there some break-even point? Like, how do you make these assessments on where you're going to have it?
Is it less of a problem? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, it depends on what you consider a problem. What do you consider important? Typically, you want a developer or an area that you want to serve, you want it all to be the same. You don't want to mix and match stuff. It's just not good engineering to mix and match if you can avoid it. You know, do it one way or the other.
Our system now is mix and match. Everything that's going to go up Home Road and that is mix and match. All the things that are down below from the sewer line are going to have to have pumps to send them up to the lines that are supposed to go in. So we're going to have a mix and match system. I mean, that's not an issue.
Well, I know that you have a couple
What
of
I
areas
is because if you have a gravity system that goes to a communal grinder pump instead of having multiple grinder pumps, then you're going to be pumping your waste for a really short distance, and then it's going to be in the gravity system. Is that therefore a better idea because of the less septic waste that's going to be put into our system?
In terms of addressing that issue, yes, it's a better way to do it, to address that issue.
I have another question too about water infiltration. This is the very first time that I've ever heard that there's any benefit to water infiltration into a sewage system. And
The water,
so I think
water infiltration is full of
I
oxygen.
learn about this.
That water infiltration is full of oxygen, and that keeps the sewage in an aerated kind of state rather than letting it go septic.
So are there figures from the DEP that have a suggested amount that you have
Yes.
infiltrating your system?
No, they don't recommend how much infiltrates, but they have a
They just say some, they don't
an
say the
acceptable limit. In other words, they tell you that you're allowed to have this much infiltration, so that they recognize that gravity systems do and will leak, and they have a number in their manuals that say this is an acceptable limit of infiltration that is allowed.
Yeah, it's acceptable, but desirable? Do they have a limit?
Well, every drop of water that goes into the system that ends up at your treatment plant costs you money. You got to pay to treat it, whether it's groundwater and clean, or whether it's sewage, it has to be cleaned. If you mix the two, then it's sewage and it has to be cleaned.
I'm coming to understand. It just really sounded like you were talking about benefits of a certain amount of infiltration.
Well, there is a benefit. Just, I'm not suggesting that a lot be.
Can we please finish your presentation and then have questions?
All right. Option 3, the township can piggyback on what the developer is proposing in terms of, he's doing low-pressure grinders, and you could then provide low-pressure grinders out here to serve your problem areas, connect your low-pressure line in and service your problem areas. So you can say, okay, Mr. Developer, you solve your problem with low-pressure grinders, and we'll solve our problem the same way. So that the cost here is running the 3,000-foot force main. The developer, that solves your problem. You're not going to get any help from the developer. Rest estimate of the cost of the force main installation is about $400.
Well, that's an aggregate number. What would be the individual homeowner
The
effective
individual
price?
homeowner price to make the connection and buy the pump, you're probably around $14,000,
The
$15,000.
cost of the main, not the connection.
It hasn't been analyzed based on the number of connections, I'm sorry, we just didn't take it that far at this point.
And that line that you have projected there, that's going all the way up to Signalsville Road beyond?
Well, here's Schwanksville Road here, so it goes up to
Okay,
the
so
south.
you're saying going all the way to Schwank Road, all the way to, but your first graphic said that the compromised systems are only right, like the 7 ones right
And the
now?
compromised systems are in here, in this block, right here.
Well, that's Schwank Road.
Yes, this is Schwank Road here. This is South.
That's Southwood Station?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
You were saying, okay, sorry, I misunderstood, I thought that was Signalsville Road.
Ziegler Road is down.
It's,
Down the road. All right, option 4. Option 4 is kind of let me go back and comment one further thing. This option doesn't solve your issue at Delphi. In other words, the developer is going to come in, and you're going to come in, and you're still going to have to analyze the Delphi station, make sure that we can add this flow as well as this flow. So that still needs to be done. Option 4, Southwood Station pump station. This is kind of a modification to option 2 in terms of have the developer put a pump station here and pump it out to the 309, 29. The township would be on the hook for the gravity. This could be done at a later time, but it does tell DEP that we have plans, we're going to address this issue, we know that we have a problem, and the developer is then to handle strictly gravity. You get them to put pump station in and gravity it out to here. The problem with this is, it again doesn't address the Delphi station issue.
Does this address the depth of that line issue?
Yes, this is a force main, so that's not very deep, it's 4 feet down.
How much does it cost to build a pumping station?
Pumping station would be a municipal station, and you're probably, up $300,000, $400,000. However, you can get the developer to pay a significant portion, if not all of that portion.
So that cost actually might be more because the developers are only paying 50%, and the other 200,000 is on that side of the township, correct? So you're assuming the developer will
I assume the developer would contribute to this station, but I don't believe that you would be able to get him to pay 100% for it, because that station is going to be serving other areas within the township ultimately. And he's going to say, yeah, but I'm only contributing, for argument's sake, 50% of the flow to this station. So I'll pay 50% for it, you guys pay the rest.
So you'd have to add on to that 325 and 200,000.
this is for the gravity line to connect to the existing properties. That's this line here.
So you're saying that the 200,000 is half the pumping station?
I think it depends on what you negotiate with the developer. But as Paul said, if you've got 48 homes or 47 or whatever it turns out to be from the development, and if the short term we're talking about connecting in, let's just say 7 as a place to start the discussion, while he pays for his percentage and there's a contribution from the township for the other 7 homes, the ratio is actually pretty good there in terms of developer would be responsible for. Again, that would go to your negotiations with the developer. That's not a number that's set in stone that it's been decided.
And what are the yearly maintenance costs for the line and the pump station?
Well, this is a gravity line. It will be similar to your maintenance costs for your existing gravity lines that you have out there, as well as it's a new pump station, so it's a municipal station, and the same kind of costs that you incur now. You have maintenance people that go to each one of these stations on a daily basis. They take meter readings, they make sure that the pumps are operating correctly, they check floats or the alarm system. So they're spending an hour and a half each day at the station, as well as the work that they do in terms of the collection system. It's a brand new system. I would not expect that you're going to spend a significant amount of money initially, but as with all sewer systems, as well as us, we get old, and we need more maintenance as we get older, and that's true for this as well.
When we looked at option 2, you had said that which option 2 was along the Dodge Hopper, okay?
Yes.
You had said that the easements were already in place.
No, the easements would need to be acquired,
Okay.
but with the easements, you can then convert those easements into recreational
So
facilities.
we don't have any easements here either.
If the township wanted it. They could say, no, we don't want to do that, and that's okay too.
The easement also costs money.
Oh, yes, easements.
So that would also have to go in.
However, one of the things about easements is the township has the right of eminent domain for public good, so you have the law on your side in terms of creating the easement, and under the law, you would be required to pay for market value, or within 80% of market value, for the easement. Because it's along the Goshahoppen Creek, it's probably in the floodplain, and as such, the market value is relatively low.
Sir, we also have formed an ASA within the township, and many of the parcels, the farm parcels along the Goshahoppen Creek are a portion of the ASA that extends additional coverage against eminent domain. The state, if you want to have an ALCAP hearing, the state would intervene and make it more difficult to obtain those easements by force. So,
Well,
I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
I spent 10 years with Bucks County Water and Sewer Authority, and I would agree with you that you really don't want to exercise the power of
We
the
would have
domain.
proved there's absolutely no
To do so,
proof, and developers have proved there's another solution to this problem. So that's an eminent fight you would not win.
In my experience, when you have to exercise the rule of eminent domain, you typically are on a losing end. If time works against you, you're better off negotiating with the homeowner to give him what he wants to acquire the easement that way, rather than using force of law to get what you want. Yes.
Okay, so the dotted line here, that would be gravity line.
That's
that
correct.
The township would be paying to install.
That's correct.
To help the developer. And if it was done with grinder pumps, it would be the same basic line that the township would have to pay for, but it would be the pressure line
Yes.
to feed those houses. I know you can't give me a number because, you're not familiar enough with the situation, but the difference in cost percentage-wise for installing a gravity line compared to a low pressure line.
It's about 50% cheaper, low pressure line than a gravity line. Could be even greater, but if you're going to look at
Simply
public
put, as an
right-of-ways,
option on an analysis on cost differential.
you're going to have significant restoration costs. Gravity lines are significantly deeper than low-pressure lines and significantly larger. Minimum gravity line is 8-inch, whereas low-pressure line, you're looking at probably for this, something in the neighborhood of 2-inch in size. So there's a significant cost difference between those two.
I just want to make sure I'm clear on this. If I go back to option 2 where it talks about easement, this would have required no additional easement.
No easements. This corner probably would require some taking to for a pump station. We're talking about something that's 100 by 100 or so. But you're going to need some land to do that.
We have a situation where we have a sewage plant where there are concerns about noise and smell. What are the implications of this 100 by 100 pump station? Is there noise and smell associated with that? for neighbors?
Typically, they are quiet neighbors. Pump is down either in the wet well or dry well. It's down 10, 15 feet. There may be a blower in the building up top, but they are quiet neighbors in terms of odor. Anytime you deal with sewer systems, odors are a potential problem. However, this station is at the head of your works and not at the end of the works. I would not expect that there to be an odor issue at this point in the system.
Does that system generally have backup power?
If this was to be built, I'm sure that DEP with 48 homes would require that system have an emergency generator. That is more likely to create noise for you than running of the station.
And does that one run right down the road?
The Delphi station has emergency
No,
power.
the green stick, the green piping that we showed.
What's the question again?
From the pump station down at,
Here's the pump
29,
station.
does that run right down the road?
Yeah, yes, the force main comes down Southwood Road, goes out to 29, it connects to the existing gravity connection.
It's on the road, though, not on somebody's.
Yes, that's correct. Would be in the public right of way.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be out under the pavement, but the right of way is 50 feet wide, so 25 feet from your center line. You put it in the shoulder. Yes.
Do you know if there's three-phase electric for a pump station in that location?
Typically, you would request three-phase. That's up to the power company. And in design, you would ask them, is three-phase available, and so on. So that's a valid concern, and we typically would like to run the pumps at three-phase. They're most efficient that way. But you can't force the electric company to give you three-phase power. I don't know if three-phase is available.
You have an underground pipe that does have no substation.
Well, that's not that terribly far. That's not